Hey, y'all, and welcome to another exciting episode of Down Home Dirt, the show where we dive deep into the journey of entrepreneurship with those who took the plunge and all the ups and downs that come with it. I'm your host, Dusta, and today I'm joined with Vicki Toth with Clayton NC Business. It's a Facebook page. It's a Instagram at business. Is that correct?
Clayton NC Biz is the Instagram, and then Clayton NC Business is Facebook.
Okay. I can cut all that out. All right, so welcome and thank you for recording with us today.
Thank you for having me here. My first podcast ever, so exciting and nervous at the same time.
You're already doing great. So tell us a little bit about yourself, like where are you from and how long have you lived in Clayton?
Okay, so you can hear from my accent. I am not from Clayton. I am one of the transplants that relocated here from New York, from the Hudson Valley area. We've been down here, just celebrated our 11 years, and we love it and would never go back. That's everything that we came here for is pretty much it's lived up to, and I just wish things would slow down a little bit so it doesn't get like where we came from.
Understandable. I'm from South New York, also known as Florida, where everybody from New York lives. So I grew up around New Yorkers and New Jersey people all my whole life. I always like to tell people that I'm from South New York and they're like, what? And I'm like, Florida, it's the same thing.
It is. Yeah. A lot of my friends actually from high school are living in Florida now.
I know I came from there to here and I was like culture shocked because obviously down there it's a faster pace and we had more New York influence than we had anything else. So I'm used to being able to tell somebody to go F themselves and it'd be okay. And here they're like, why would you do that? And I'm like, because that's what I'm used to.
You have to say bless your heart here.
Yes. I learned that real quickly. It was definitely.
I didn't know that was a bad thing. I learned it later after I first came here. So, yeah, that was interesting.
I was like, oh, we have to be nice. Okay, I'm not used to that, but it's fine.
Yeah, yeah. New Yorkers were more transparent. That's what I say. We like to be transparent. Whatever it is, it is. Yeah.
I like that.
And we say it to your face.
Yes.
It might not be what you want to hear, but at least we're transparent.
Exactly. And sometimes that's easier to deal with. I agree. So what inspired you to create a directory of businesses on Instagram and Facebook? And what gap did you see in the market that drove you to start this venture?
Well, actually, we were thinking about doing this a while ago. We actually started it out back when Clayton was celebrating their 150th anniversary. And we had this idea that we wanted to put together a business directory online. So it's going to be a website that'll be online that will have all Clayton businesses on it. And we wanted it to be where every business could be on it. So a free directory where everyone could claim a free business listing. And it was just really to help give businesses more exposure. And then COVID came along and that kind of got put to the side burner. So we set everything aside and we're digital, and this is, our background. Been doing this for the past 20 years, so we kind of thought, now let's take what we know and we can do for ourselves and for our clients and build something for local Clayton businesses. So on the other side, our other business is Clayton NC Web Design, and with that, it's our mission. It's written everywhere. Our mission is to help local businesses, to give them the same Fortune 500 presence as all the big corps that are out there on the web. So we decided we wanted to take that and put something together for Clayton businesses. And COVID came along. We were busy with all of that. That was a crazy time for everyone to get through. We were busy, not making more money, but busy helping our clients get through things. And everything had to be digital then. And then that finished up. And then Google started talking about the new algorithms that were going to be rolling out. So SEO is not like SEO like it used to be anymore. It's now something called SGE. And I'll slow down and take it back for a second because I'm talking a lot of technical stuff right now that people may not understand. Well, what is all of that? So SEO is search engine optimization. And I think a lot of people today know what that means. That's basically getting yourself ranked on the first page of Google. That's the easiest way I could say it. Working with your digital presence so that you have a first page listing on Google. SGE is Google's new way of doing SEO, which stands for Search Generated Experience. And what they're doing now is, instead of like they used to go in and they look at your website and everywhere that your website domain was attached to, they kind of rank you versus your competitors, and that's where you jostled in the Google rankings. Now with Search Generated Experience, they're not just taking that, they're going out onto the web and using AI to crawl everything. Okay, so now think about that. You start thinking about forums like Quora, Reddit, and think about the business names that are going to be coming up in those forums. In those forums, you're going to have your Home Depots, not your Hudson's Hardware here in Clayton coming up in those forums a lot. You're going to have all of those big companies coming up. So that's just going to kind of push small businesses and all of that back down again. So we said, okay, now is the time. If we're going to do this, now's the time where we need to roll this directory out, because if this small businesses are going to need more links, they're going to need more exposure. And our goal is ultimately that anyone who's local, instead of going to Google to search, is going to just come straight to Clayton NC business to search, because they'll know, at least when they put a search in for Google and they're looking for a local plumber, they're going to get a local Clayton plumber. They're not going to get a page that has a bunch of other stuff mixed in and maybe not a local company. So we wanted to make it where it's going to help give the local businesses more exposure in the search engines, and ultimately the goal is to help more people find Clayton businesses outside of this area, to bring more into Clayton, and just to spark things and just create more awareness for a lot of local businesses. So that's the ultimate goal. And that's kind of why we're doing it now, and why we've really, over the last 6 months, you're probably seeing a lot more activity, because we are finally very close to launching the actual website where everyone will be able to claim a free business directory. And the more people that are on there, the stronger it's going to be. So I'm out here trying to make sure everybody knows about it and gets their business listed for a free business directory, and we all kind of build each other up.
That's exciting. I cannot wait. I'm jazzed about this.
I'm
Because
very excited. There's a lot of stuff built into it. It's been in the works for a long time. We've got a really good AI search in there, and just like everything to make sure it's really user friendly and that everyone just wants to come there and use it. And we're also going to have a community calendar on there. So we've been kind of listening to what people are saying, and there's so many awesome events and things that are going on, but it's really hard to keep track of everything, because you've got to go all these different places. So we're going to have a good community calendar on there where you can list community events and things that are going on. So this way there's one spot where everyone can kind of go to find everything Clayton, whether you need a business, a shop, a service, whatever it is, events, just to have that be kind of the hub for everything Clayton.
I love that so much, because one of the things that I find frustrating myself is I go on Facebook and there's, 100 different groups, right? And not all of them have the same content. And I'm trying to find, I don't know, a pumpkin patch and a plumber. I want to be able to go to one place, not like search the whole Facebook.
Yes, and that's exactly why we did it. We don't want to be another social media group out there. There are so many awesome groups that are already out there doing all this. We wanted to give something different that we don't have, and we really don't have a good solid directory. So there's going to be a lot of things that are built into it for the business directories, and more things down the line that we'll be incorporating. But it's been a lot of work, and everyone will, when we launch the actual live site, I think everyone will be like, wow, I can't believe how robust this is, because there's going to be a really lot of neat features, and it'll just be really easy for everyone to find what they need without having to go through a bunch of categories and stuff. You can just search it in. It's got a good AI search bar in there. So it'll be nice and easy for everyone to find an event, a business, whatever they're looking for.
Well, I can't wait. You're going to have to share that launch date with me so I can put it in our network.
Absolutely. Yep. We're doing it this month, so it's going to be within the next couple of weeks. We're aiming for next Monday, but I don't want to jinx it. So we got to make sure some final testing's done and finish getting all the pre-registrants in. So we do have pre-registration open. So if anybody wants to go ahead and pre-register and claim their free business listing now, I would say go ahead and do that now, because we are going to make sure we thank everyone who was supportive in the beginning and did the pre-registration and have something special for them. But the more people that are on there, the better. So at least when we launch, we'll have some listings in there to start off, right out of the gate. So that's why I'm encouraging everyone, sign up now, sign up now. So this way it's robust and it's something that's good, that's there when we launch it. And you'll still be able to obviously claim your free listing once we go live. Just for anyone who pre-registers, we'll be giving some special things too.
No, absolutely. So that leads me to my next question, which is how do you select the businesses that are featured on your page, and what criteria do you use to ensure quality and diversity?
Okay, so the only businesses that can pre-register for Clayton NC Business, you have to be a Clayton business. So you can't be a Garner business or a Smithfield business or a Raleigh business. You must be a Clayton-based business. So what we do with that is we have to go through a verification process. So anyone who submits to us, you've got to give us a Clayton address so that we can verify that you're a Clayton business. But just like Google and us, we're home-based. You can be a home-based business also, but we need your physical Clayton address to verify that you're really Clayton. It won't be published, just like Google. You can not have your address published. It's going to be the same way. So that's basically the only criteria, is that you must be a Clayton business and it has to be a legal business. That's it. Everything else, I mean, you can be home-based. You could be just starting out, maybe not even have a website yet, and you're just trying to get started. We want it to be for everyone. So as long as you are a Clayton-based business and you're a legally formed business, you are fine to be on there. Once you're pre-registered, I usually go out and make an announcement on our social media profiles to say, hey, welcome these people so you get a spotlight. So that's really what the criteria is, just to pre-register your business. And then I'll give a shout out for the pre-registrants. I give you a special one. Once we go live and we have a lot of people registering, I'll do announcements with just listing. But if you do, eventually we'll be introducing a premium listing. And with that one, then of course you'll get a special shout out. So the premium listing will give some more features, like you'll almost have like a mini web page where it'll have a lead generation form and a bunch of stuff on there. But that's coming down the line. That's in the future. Right now, we just want to get the standard one out there and just get everybody onto it first. So this way it's viable and people start getting rent. That's the first step. Yeah, and then we'll do also offering blog spotlights, which you can, I have information I can send to you about that, where I'm going to be doing just a 5 to 6 minute quick little video where it's a little bit, a couple of pieces of interview, highlights of your business, whatever it is. And then we're going to put that together and post it on a blog on the website. So it'll be a blog post with a video embedded in it. And same thing, we'll have the video on YouTube, so they'll have extra exposure, marketing tool. And then our goal is when we create that blog post on our website, we're going to write it with SEO because we know how to specialize in that. And the goal is to make sure that when somebody searches for your business, so if you're a plumber or whatever, and they're looking in Clayton, that blog post is going to come up right in that first page of Google, so that it's getting you more exposure. So that's available now. We're going to start doing that as soon as we launch. So I am right now. I have space for 2. I'm looking for 2 restaurants and 2 service providers that are kind of geared towards the holidays. So like, maybe beauty, some kind of service that's geared towards the holiday. So I do have a couple of spots that are open for December that I can highlight, which may be a boost for some local businesses. And if you pre-register, you will get a special pricing on that, and I can go ahead and send information out. So once you pre-register, I send you that out, and I'm just trying to fill those spots. So what makes the most sense? So like January, like we would be thinking like an organizer, a health coach, fitness coach, something that's geared with that people will be searching for, and just fit everyone where it makes the most sense. So that's what we're doing right now, trying to get some of those spots filled and start getting that set up and start getting exposure for everyone.
That's fabulous. I'm super excited. I can't wait to see. You're going to have to come back in a year and let us update us on everything.
Hopefully shorter than that, right?
True. I only say a year because, excuse me, this is going into season 2, and season 2 starts in January. So, and it ends in June. So I'm like, okay. So maybe
Yes,
like, yeah, maybe 6 months. How about a year from today?
yes, we'll have a celebration party, and hopefully we'll be celebrating because customers will be really excited and businesses will be excited that they see their rankings on there and business improving and just getting more people from outside of Clayton into Clayton, because I feel like our community is so supportive here in Clayton. We're all very supportive of each other. But the thing is, we can't always survive on that. We need to bring new people in. People move, things happen. Um, People lose their jobs. It becomes harder to support your local community. So it's important to make sure that you've always got some new coming in, and we're making sure that people know about it and get some new people and new traffic into the area, and just that they know it's even here and available for them, because I feel like a lot of people outside of Clayton don't even know about all the awesome gems and places that we have right here in Clayton. You don't really have to go all over the place. You can find so much of what you need right in Clayton.
Nope, absolutely, you are correct. As a person who lives in Clayton and does business outside, sometimes people are like, "Oh, I didn't even know you existed," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yes, yes. Yes, and that was why we really wanted to do the website too, because so many people I talk to, we think everyone's on Facebook,
Yeah.
but not everyone is on Facebook. So um, that's what we were coming to find as we were talking to people in the community too. Like, okay, they didn't know about it because they're not on Facebook, or it was difficult to find on Facebook, even if you are on Facebook. So that's why we said we really want to roll this out, because sadly, that's where everyone does go to Google. and especially people who are looking to move here. So, most people who are looking from outside to come to the area, especially if you offer like a high ticket product or service, they're not waiting till they get here to look for you. If they know they're moving here, they're looking before they get here, and they're going to Google to search that and find that. So that's why it's important to have that ranking also in the search engines, because you're capturing all of that traffic that sometimes we're missing on social media profiles.
Absolutely, you are correct. As a business owner, I've noticed that myself. So, what challenges have you faced in building and maintaining this directory, and how have you overcome them?
Oh, challenges. Well, the first challenge was COVID, right? We started building and we were ready to go ahead, and then COVID came along and challenged us. But everything happens for a reason. We were kind of glad later on when we stepped back into it and we're ready to pick back up again. The platform that we were originally building on was probably not the best platform for us. So now when we came to redo it after that first initial challenge, it actually was better because we revisited, looked at things. Technology had changed. AI had changed a lot from when we first started to when we picked back up again. And it worked out for the best. So we did that. Challenges, time, because I still have my business and I still have to pay my bills. And a lot of times with what we're doing in our industry, also it's hard to bring people in when you're first starting on, because you have to worry that someone's going to take your idea and roll it out and do it somewhere else before you. So it's a little difficult sometimes to bring people into something like that when you're first starting out with it. So time is really the biggest challenge. And then the other thing is, when we first were rolling it out, we wanted it to kind of be anonymous, because I didn't want people to think like with what we do for a living, like, oh, they're doing this because they're looking to find customers or something like that. So we were doing it like anonymous. Like we didn't have our name associated to it. I didn't put my face out there, nothing in the beginning when we first started rolling it out. But then the challenge was people were thinking we're really not local. And like we're just like going to be like another Yelp or something like that coming in. And they didn't realize that we were a local family and a local business here with everyone else and just starting something new. So those are kind of the challenges, and it's technology and it's really comprehensive. So, a lot of breaks along the way, things breaking and redoing and testing, and it's just all part of development, and it is really comprehensive. So, time was the main thing. Time, yes. I think probably most small business owners struggle with time.
Absolutely. I will say that I am one of them. I have ADHD on top of all of that. So I have no concept of time, but I also don't have enough time.
Me too.
This is great. Kindred spirits. I love this. That's why I
Yes.
love doing this podcast. I can so many people. So my next question is, in your opinion, what role does social media play in the success of small businesses today, particularly in building community and engagement?
Okay, so it plays a big role. It has always played a big role because it's free publicity, right? So it's free publicity. You can get yourself out there. Um, and I think that with um, AI, it's going to be really important to be using it to show authenticity. So, AI has brought on a slew of what I call low quality content. Everything's all the same and everyone's using it, and it's going to be hard to stand out. So I think that social media, small businesses can use that to stand out a little bit more and to show the personal side and be authentic so that people can see that, and it's free. So it's a great source, but I also think that it's important not to only build your business on that. I see a lot of small businesses that really just focus only there. And you need to be doing some other things and get some other plans in place to make the best of that. Because I've also had people who have come to me who have spent all that time building and then to have their account hacked and now they have nothing. So it's really important to make sure you keep balanced. That's, I always say, the secret sauce to success is balance. You got to keep everything balanced. But it's a huge, huge role in that. It's a great way to reach a lot of people for free, to share about your business and share about yourself. Mm-hmm.
That's fabulous. I'm excited. So, how do you stay updated on trends in both the social media landscape and the industries of the businesses that you feature? I feel like that would be a hard thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do this for a living, so social media is like part of every day. I'm constantly, I'm on a lot of different profiles for clients, so keeping up with local is pretty easy because most of my clients are local that I'm doing marketing for, and I'm following all their feeds and doing stuff, so I constantly see what's happening local. And then I kind of use the same technique for myself on the business side. I just follow some of the industry best industry best people and follow them, and I just read and follow along with what they're publishing, and then I just always look at what's new in the industry, and I always try and forward think to think, okay, what are the problems going to be with this, and then that's where that gap is, and that's where you make your niche and kind of find that gap and make something from that. So that would be some advice that I would give for someone who's looking to start something new is don't try and do something that everybody else is doing. Find a gap and make that your niche so that you stand out. Mm-hmm.
That's really good advice. I agree with that. It's very good advice. Because that's kind of what I did with my cleaning company is I looked at what's my co-opetition because they're not my competition. We're just in the same field. And I was like, where's their deficit and how can I make that my thing, my niche? So
Yep,
I agree.
exactly.
So
Don't do
what
everything like everyone else.
No.
That's the worst thing to do. You just get scrolled right past. If you're doing it like everybody else is doing it, then that's not good. You're never going to stand
No, and that's something that kind of gets on my nerves a little bit too when I'm looking for a business to do something, whether it's, personal or in business. And I'm like, hey, these five people are all doing the same content. They're doing the same thing. Like, I want someone different because I
out.
want that, like, neurodivergent, like looking at it another way.
Yes, or someone that you connect with. So when someone's doing it a little bit differently, sometimes you can connect with that more than someone who's just plain vanilla and everyone's doing everything the same.
I agree. Connection is a very big, important part of why I will choose a business. So I agree with that. What strategies do you use to foster genuine connections between the businesses in your directory and their potential customers?
Okay, so today we did a social Sunday on our social media profiles. We want to encourage everyone. You know, we have a bunch of followers, so let's make sure if you don't have a bunch of followers, you can drop your business, your profile in the comments, and the goal is to hopefully have everyone going in there and finding some new businesses and following you. We'll have a newsletter that we'll be putting out. We'll be announcing new members, putting that exposure out. I'm going to be sharing tips. So, like, there's a lot of things that we can do as local businesses to support other local businesses without even spending any money. It's very easy to just like, comment, or share on someone's post. So we're going to be encouraging those types of digital activities, and then we'll have the blog. So hopefully sharing more about your business and getting other businesses involved with each other. And eventually we'll be doing some more things. Like I'd love to start doing some in-person things, have some networking events, stuff like that. I have some stuff that I really wanted to do for this year, but we're too close to launch, so I can't do it. So for next year, for the holidays, I have a really fun activity planned that will bring kind of the businesses together and get foot traffic into the businesses. I can't say that because I want to make sure that I have it for next year. But just a lot of activities to just create awareness and bring people together. And I think that we don't have to see each other, even like you just said, the co. It's not competition; it's co. You're working together. There's a lot of opportunity, and there's a lot of people who need help and who need services. But we can also look to each other to work with each other for things. So, like you, for instance, someone else who's in your same industry, they don't want to take care of that gap that you're handling, and then you become their go-to for them, even though you're in the same industry. We just have to figure out how we work together without stepping on each other's toes. But there's lots of opportunity to do that, and that's kind of what we want to encourage. Is a big network. So you can
No,
find businesses, you can find a partner, partnership, all kinds of stuff. And we know it's local. It's nice to partner with someone local because there's a lot more accountability than when you work with someone who's across the country or in another country, because you just don't have that same accountability as when you're working with someone local.
I agree 100% with that. I definitely am one of those people where I think that those open networking and those events where you get to meet the other people in your industry, those foster a lot of interesting conversations because you're realizing who does what. And also, if somebody contacts me and I don't do whatever they're doing, I can refer them. And I want to be the person who's most well connected so that the people
Yeah.
look at me as, I don't want to say an expert, but like a referral, oh, you don't do it, cool, but so and so will, and I know they'll take care of them.
Yes, and exactly. So with the website, that's what we are with the AI search. So for instance, if someone comes to me and they want a website, I don't do Wix or Weebly or Shopify. We just do ones that you own. Um, but maybe in that directory, there'll be someone who has Shopify in their description or Wix or Weebly, and then that's fine. That's great. Let that person help them because you're a better fit, a better match for each other, and it's just going to be a win-win for everyone that way than trying to force a square into a circle. So, yes.
Keeping those conversations open and flowing is very important. I agree with you on that. So, how do you handle feedback or criticism from businesses or followers about your directory? And what have you learned from those experiences?
Um, I haven't really gotten too much negative feedback to me. Maybe maybe someone hasn't said it to me. In the beginning, when we first started saying what we were going to do, people thought, well, how's the chamber going to feel about that? Because they have a directory also. How are like all these other groups that are out there going to feel about that? And I think it goes along with what we just were talking about, that it's we're not doing exactly the same thing. It's different, and there's a way for all of us to work together and boost off of each other. So, and like some people, well, how are you going to do it if you're offering everyone free directory listing? Not seeing like kind of how the whole thing works, but we'll have there'll be ad space that will be available for people to buy if they want. We're going to have the premium. Right now, like I said, we're just focused on getting it up and running, and then the other stuff will all start to fall into place. All I need to do right now is cover my expenses to maintain it, the hosting and stuff. So, that's all we're looking for right now until it's ready to get to that next level. But I think that I wanted to be able to, for everyone to be able to have the listing. And that was the main thing, because a lot of the other directors you have to pay to be a member of to get that exposure. And I really felt like so many small businesses today, when you're first starting out, it's so hard today. It's not like it was 20 years ago when you started out. It's difficult today. It's challenging. So I really felt like we wanted to give them something that would get them over that first hurdle at least, and give them something digital where they could start with that and then work their way up to that next level to be able to do the other things and join the Clayton Chamber of Commerce and other groups, and do those things and be in a position where they can volunteer time and do those things, because now their business has lifted to another level. So the thought is, and kind of what like I wasn't originally, my background is not in this at all. I was a vice president with the Bank of New York for 13 years. And then Chase came along and bought Bank of New York's retail division. And at that time, I was supposed to be transferring. I worked in the county below. My daughter was going to be starting kindergarten. I wanted to be in the county where we live so I could close. And they stopped all transfers, but they offered severance packages. So I took a severance package. I said, great, no problem. I'll be home with her for a little while till she starts school. Then I'll go back to work. My branch was ranked in the top 10 out of 300 something branches. I said, I'll have no problem going back to work and getting a bank job. Well, she went to school in 2008. And that was when all the banks failed. I had no job to go back to. And that's when I started working with my husband doing this. And I couldn't even copy and paste when I first started. So for anyone who's frustrated and thinks like I can't do all of this, you can do it. It's like riding a bike. You just gotta take one step at a time and just keep going and keep practicing, and you get it, and then that's it. It sticks. But I wasn't really like, this wasn't what I wanted to do, and I dealt mostly with people in person, and it was digital, and it felt very cold to me, and it wasn't really me. I started helping him from QuickBooks with the business, and then we relocated from New York down here, and a year after we moved down here, I lost my mom really unexpected. We moved down here to be close to them. We lived out in Pamlico County, and I had a really hard time with it. I'm still going to get a little choked up. This was just the anniversary of the 10-year passing.
I'm sorry.
And I was really feeling like lost. Like, what am I doing with my life right now? I was always the boss before. Now I'm like just doing this stuff and just kind of feeling like, this is really what I'm supposed to be doing with life. I lost my mom, and it just had me really thinking. And we wound up getting a phone call from actually our very first customer when we first moved out there, Mickey Nixon. He was our very first customer who we teased that he was the first one who gave us Yankees a chance. That's what we would always say when we moved down here. He was the first one to give us Yankees a chance. And he had contacted us because he was frustrated. He always had a lot of business coming, and he wasn't getting as many calls, and he was noticing all his competitors, the yard signs, stuck in their yards, and he was like, I'm not even getting a chance to give a bid on this, or give them an estimate. on it. So he contacted us because he wanted to get rents and found in Google. So we did. We did a really good job, especially for him because he was our very first customer. We had to really prove ourselves down here first. So we got him ranked on the first page of Google. And he actually called me. It was right around the holidays, which was a hard time. You know, anytime you have a loss of someone, the holidays are extra hard. And he contacted me and he said, I need you to do me a favor. We need to get another page on the website. We need to add an employment page and I need an employment application on there because he said, usually this time of the year, I have to lay my guys off because I don't have work for them. And now I need to get more help. I can't give them a break and give them a vacation because I don't have enough help. So we need to get this set up so that this way I can get more employees. And when that happened, it was just like the light went off in me. And it was like, wow, we have the power to help families and local businesses right in our community. And we can make this impact. It was like a powerful moment for me, a big aha moment. And then after that, that was it. I was like, I have to learn how to do everything and do it the best. And we just went on our mission then. So that's kind of what got me started into everything. I think I drifted off there. I think I might not have answered the whole question.
Oh, no, you did. Sorry, my leg fell asleep and I'm just like trying to sit and also like make it come back to life. And I'm just like, do you mind if I just pause this and then run to the...
No, go right ahead. I'm going to shift around too.
My mouse fell asleep too. No big deal. All right. Can you discuss the importance of storytelling in promoting businesses on social media and how you encourage businesses to share their narratives?
Yes, absolutely. Again, going back to that AI conversation, because now I see a lot of people, and AI is great. I use it every day. It's open on my computer. I've been using it a long time. But it's important to make sure that what you're posting, you're sending messaging that is about you and it's not AI creating everything. So you need to make sure that you are using that to assist you. I call it assisted intelligence. Don't look for it to do everything for you. Look at it as an assistant and make sure that you are making that yours because again, like we talked about, that's how people are going to connect with you. If you don't have anything personal and you're not sharing any of your story about maybe some troubles you went through that someone will connect with you, or even it could be a good story, a good time thing that people connect with you. But if you don't do any storytelling, people can't connect with you and you just become a business like everyone else, and especially for small local businesses, because that's why people support you, because they like you, and they can't like you if they don't know your story. So storytelling is very important, and it's probably been one of my biggest challenges for myself because I don't like selfies and I don't like putting myself out there like this or on stage or anything. So it's been a challenge because part of storytelling is showing yourself. So yes, that's a big challenge for me, and it's advice I give my customers all the time, but it's something that it's a little bit more challenging for me to do. But this community is amazing. When my daughter graduated high school, I joined a nonprofit, Clayton Women in Networking, and they've really supported me so much and given me so many opportunities that it's just got me stepping out of my comfort zone and doing those next things and starting to take those steps and do those things myself so I can relate to how my clients feel. And I think that something we take for granted is we think that everyone likes to put themselves out there and post selfies and do all this stuff. But the more and more people I talk to, the more I find that no, it's not that comfortable for everyone, and it is a challenge. So you're not alone. Even people who are in the industry and doing this have the same struggles and feel the same way. Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. And that's why I wanted to start this podcast, because I wanted people to be able to share their story and make them more human and make them get out of their shells, essentially. Because I'm the same way. It's like, you think that based on my social media presence that I am in love with myself. I like posting, but I don't. I'm just like, oh, look at this cool thing I did, or look who I met or whatever. I'm just trying to like make it more comfortable for myself.
To share. I think I need to look at it more like I'm sharing. I'm not showing off. I'm not gloating or any of that. I'm just sharing, and that's it. And maybe what I'm sharing is connecting with someone and helping them through their day or whatever struggle that they're getting through at that moment.
Absolutely. And that's a big part, I think, of when you have an audience, is to connect with them and sharing your authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So that leads me to my next question. What advice would you give to entrepreneurs looking to effectively leverage Instagram or Facebook or social media in general for their own business growth?
Okay. Yeah. Well, what you need to do is you need to take a look at. It's really easy. It's easy today, but it's not. And the reason it's not is because it's overwhelming. There's so much, and it's really easy to get caught up in a hamster wheel with all of that. And that's the biggest problem most people come to us with, is because they're tired of the hamster wheel, whether it's Google Ads or having to go to 50 networking events a week or whatever, or whatever it is. Um, you really need to take a look at who your target customer is and what your messaging is. Most times when there's a disconnect, it's either what I call you're not fishing in the right pond,
Ooh, I like
okay?
that.
Or you're not sending the right messaging. So you're not attracting what you want because your messaging is off. So it's usually one of those two, or sometimes a combination of the both of them. So I would say you really want to look at who your target customer is. You need to get your target customer down. You should know your target customer before you even create your branding. Your branding shouldn't just be you. It needs to be you with your target customer in mind. And that's a thing I see now, because there's so many, like coaching. The trend right now is like a lot of marketing for coaching and stuff like that. So I see a lot of small businesses kind of doing the same thing, but that's not really the right thing for your business format. So everyone kind of tries to follow the trends all the time. But the most important thing is to do what's best for you. Who's your target audience and where are they? And focus on just the top two social media platforms where your target audience is. And really work on that. And really work on connecting niche, like your posts. Don't do general. It's just going to get lost. You really need to do multiple small little niche posts that are going to connect to your audience and do things that are going to get you to stand out. So you don't want to do what everybody else is doing. You need to do it differently, so that way you're not just getting scrolled past. And that's the big thing in social media. If you're business to business, focus on your business to business platforms. And I recently just got into LinkedIn a lot because I feel like, well, it was an election year, so I kind of didn't want to see a lot of the stuff that was on Facebook and Instagram. I didn't want to see that. But the other thing is, when people are using LinkedIn, alignable platforms that are built for businesses, their mode when they're scrolling through that is more to do business, and they're more open to that than when you're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Your mission is to zone out and forget about work and all this stuff. So you're not looking to do business when you're scrolling through that. So think about, those things, about where you should be focusing your energy and efforts, and how you want to present yourself in the messaging that you're sending. So you don't have to, like, now the algorithms, if you post more than once, you're hurting yourself, because social media platforms don't want to give you a lot of organic exposure. They want you to have to pay for it and spend more time there. So the algorithms are always changing, and now if you're constantly posting, like it used to be, if you posted a lot, you get more exposure. Now you're actually hurting yourself by doing that. So quality content, if you're not going to post as much, make sure what you're putting out there is a good quality. And I don't mean like to the point where you're not posting because it's got to be so good. I mean, just good quality, not what everyone else is doing. Really get into your audience's head and the things that are going on that are going to trigger them when they see your messaging come through.
Absolutely, because sometimes it just gets overwhelming out there on the Facebook and the Instagram. So I just got into LinkedIn myself. I still trying to figure out like how it works and everything to promote the podcast and also to get more guests on there. But I we'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm
Side
actually
note.
going to do. I did for Clayton Women in Networking. I did a presentation on LinkedIn, so maybe like take a look at myself on LinkedIn. And I kind of didn't really. I had stuff there, but it was just, I'm a website snob. We get leads in through Google. I don't really look at all that stuff that much. And then I had to do that presentation. I was like, oh, I don't look so good on there, do I? Huh? So I took a master class and it was amazing. So what I'd like to do is get a small group of like 10 local people and go through this plan that I put through together, a LinkedIn thing where I kind of tweaked it and changed it more for small businesses because that was more like for coaching and stuff like that. And I'd love for people to go through it with me because it's a class because I do like all these digital webinars and trainings and classes. So it's something that I'm looking to roll out. But the first time I like to just do it with like a small group of 10 people together to get feedback to this way at least I know like what do I need to change, what do I need to update before I put this out and someone's paying for it, then I know it's like really good. So yeah, so if you want to join us on that, you let me know. Yeah.
I was like, send me the sign up information because I definitely don't know how to
And
use that.
it really works. Like I'm someone who needs to see instant results. I'm very impatient like that. Like I don't want to be putting all my time and effort into something. And if I don't see the value, like it's hard for me to continue at it. And I started seeing instant results. So it worked. It's good. Yeah.
I cannot wait to go because I would love to learn all the ins and outs. I just feel like it's another thing. I just barely learned TikTok. I'm still learning. So that's a
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah,
But
TikTok and doing videos for TikTok is not as easy as everybody thinks, and there's a lot of competition. So, like when you look at the percentage of people who use TikTok and how many people post, and like Instagram too, how many people use it and how many post, it's a very high percentage. So there's a lot of competition when you're posting on them. So it's hard. Yeah.
it is. And so I'm still, like I said, I'm still learning. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll figure it out. So, how do you envision the future of your directory and what innovative features or expansions do you hope to implement? I'm having a great time with English today.
So, like I said, we're starting off with it just to be able to have a free business directory listing. And eventually we're going to put a premium listing. And that premium listing, like I said, will give the web page, it will have a lead generation form that goes straight to you, not to us where we're charging you something off of it. It goes straight to you. We'll have the advertisement opportunities for really inexpensive, which will be awesome exposure, a lot better than paying high Google ad costs. And this, people who are looking are actual Clayton people who are viable customers, not, maybe traffic from Russia or somewhere else that you don't need it. So we're going to have that, and then we'll see how this goes here. But we're going to keep implementing more and more features. So what we'll do is we already have looked. Okay, there's a lot of real estate agents in Clayton, so maybe what we'll do is add an additional feature, a booking feature or something on there for real estate agents. So as people get on to the directory and we're getting feedback from people and hearing things, we're going to keep implementing new features. And I think the thing that makes it different is that calendar, because there's a lot of directories that are out there, but there's really not one place where you can go that has the directories and that community calendar. So like I said, it's kind of everything all in one spot, one hub, and we'll see what happens if it does well here, because we've actually had people contacting us and they're like, we're not technically Clayton, but we're right on the edge. Can we join? And I'm like, I'm sorry. This is really just for Clayton. But I guess if there's enough of a demand in another area, then we can always do something separate for that. But just that's it. Just keep trying to help local businesses in our community we'll start with Clayton, and once we get that all really good, then we'll just keep building out, and that's the goal.
I'm happy to hear that because I think that every little town needs some kind
Well,
of
that's
direction.
it. You think about it, and it's like, you go to Myrtle Beach, you go to vacation places, and they have these awesome sites where if you're visiting there, you can go on, you can find a restaurant, whatever it is you need. You can see the events that are going on. But we don't have anything like that in just regular small town places. And those are the businesses that could really use it because we don't have a ton of tourism and traffic coming in to drive stuff. We rely on events like the Harvest Festival and things like that. So that's why I think this will be good too. Yep.
That's exciting. All right. So, last question? I always tell some people, last question. All right. Looking ahead, what trends do you foresee shaping the future of your business directories and social media marketing, and how do you plan to adapt to them?
Okay. Yeah. So the trends that are changing is the SEO, which I talked about, and we kind of feel like this is going to help small businesses combat that. The trends with social media, same thing like we just talked about. It's harder for small businesses to get the exposure and the reach organically without paying because they've changed their algorithms. So that makes it a little bit more challenging like hosting events on Facebook because there's a lot of scams on Facebook. So like one big complaint I have from a lot of my business customers with Facebook is that it's become a job just to manage their Facebook profile because of all the fake things that come in, and then events you see where people pay for something and it's fraudulent, it's not real. So it becomes harder as a small business then to use those resources as a tool because there's seeds of doubt now. So when people are looking at that, maybe they're not as likely to click on it because they only see it on Facebook and they have this, well, maybe it's a scam in their mind. So those are some of the trends that I see happening with social media, and that's exactly why I go back to my balance is the secret sauce to success. Don't have everything or don't have all your eggs in one basket. You need to really make sure I tell everyone sometimes you need to take a pause and really take a look at things, to take the time to figure it out and then put a plan in place where at least you know your focus and your efforts are going to drive results instead of doing the same thing and just kind of winging it and doing it as you go along because it'll take you a lot longer to get to your end point and it'll cost you a lot more money to do it that way than to just take a pause sometimes and really evaluate things and put a good plan in place.
No, absolutely. And I think you're absolutely right about the Facebook scam situation. And I'm hoping that I think we need more community in general. I don't think Facebook community should be like the end all be all, right? I think we need like the individual ones because there are things that go on here that no one else is going to know about that because so and so doesn't have, the social media. And I
Yeah.
love the fact that you're putting it all together and you're like, here's events, here's companies, this is our town.
Yes.
Come visit. Here's a list of places that we trust. Here's things that hidden gems. I follow
Yes.
all these Instagram
That's what
pages.
exactly. That's what the blog post is to try and really get it. So it's getting inside the places of getting inside the spaces of Clayton places. So this way, it gives me the opportunity to go show them the actual place, talk to the business owner like you're doing here, but on a much smaller, not as long, just put a little snapshot. So this way, at least it gives them more exposure and people can see like there's all these cool things that are here, but nobody knows. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I love this. So tell our listeners where they can find the website. What is the address?
The website is ClaytonNCBusiness.com. Pretty simple. ClaytonNCBusiness.com. And then on social media, on Facebook, we're Clayton NC Business. And on Instagram, we are Clayton NC Biz.
Perfect. And they can inquire with you on social media and or the website in order to claim their directory.
Yes, absolutely. So we have a pre-registration on the website right now. There's a tab right on there that says pre-register. The other thing we have is a contributors page where if you have videos or pictures from local events and things that are happening in Clayton, we want you to share them with us. And we're going to have a page on the website that has those pictures and things, and it's going to list all the contributors. with a link back to your website. So that helps strengthen your SEO and all that. So we've built a lot of things into it that are really going to help local businesses and their digital exposure. So if you have that, that's an extra spot where you're going to get another link back and a link. So that they can contribute to. And then if you just have any questions at all, you can message me or send a message straight through the website. Yep. If you're interested in getting a blog spotlight, send that in because I'm only doing four a month. And I'm really, like I said, trying to position them where it makes sense for them to be in that spot so they get the best out of it.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today and all the information. It will be posted with the episode so people can get with you. All right, well, thank you so much and join us again next week for another amazing episode of Down Home Dirt.